Well, no, I was having lunch with someone recently, and he's very curious and intellectual and has done a lot of interesting work in a lot of different fields in his life. And he was really trying to get to the nub of what we do and what we're pointing to. And so as I was talking to him, it became really clear to me, and I was thinking, like, it's impossible for human beings to appreciate that every single thing that exists in our reality comes from a thought. Like, all of human advancement and where we are today in society originates with a thought, or another way of saying that is an idea. So it's like all the things we've come to take for granted because they've been around so long, one moment in time were an idea, were a thought. So every building sitting in New York City having this conversation with this guy looking out the window, it's like this whole city was a thought. If you really strip it back, someone had to come here, see an idea, and people have ideas out of the blue, and then we create things. And it's interesting because as we've gotten used to that and become blind to it, we have a tendency to blame the world of things out there as if they were there before we got here, and as if they're somehow the problem. And everything we're up against is just of our own making. It's of our own creation. So all of our problems came from our thinking, and all of our brilliant innovations and solutions have come from our thinking. And that's a really intriguing and helpful place for humanity to look if we're looking at how do we want to live in a different world. We're not going to get a different world by treating the world like the things out there were already there and created the problem. So, talking about land and people fighting over land as if the land is an issue. It's like, no, we made up the lines. We said, you live here, I live there. We made that up, and now we're struggling to fix that problem as if we didn't make it up. And it's the same with money. Like, we made up money. Money doesn't have an existence without humans putting that out there, making it a thing, turning it into what runs our economy and our societies. And then we make up all this stuff about what money means about our well-being, and we treat it as if money did that to us. Oh yeah, that piece of paper made me feel bad, which made me suffer, which made me then kill that person, which made me. And it's so cool that actually there's a completely different understanding of the mind that says nothing made you do anything. Nothing made you feel anything. You're just the potential for ideas, and then you live in a world that's a reflection of those ideas. So if we want a better world, we have to be willing to consider that the world is made up of our own thinking. And it's possible for us to have a very profound and yet simple, ordinary, tangible conversation about the link between those things. The current state of the world today and the fact that the world is a mirror reflection of our potential to have thoughts. There's a huge, very fertile ground for new possibility to come out of seeing the link between those two things. And I feel personally like my job over the last 10 years since I came across these principles, this understanding of the mind, has been one big suspense thriller of watching what happens when a human or two humans or an organization of humans or a multi-million-dollar company of humans suddenly goes, oh wait, there's a link between how we're using our minds and what's possible for us in life. There's a link between how we're using our minds and the chronic issues we're having in this company. You mean it's not the budgets? You mean it's not the boss we all hate? You mean it's like really seeing that it's never anything out there. That at the end of that movie, there's this amazing plot twist where people see their world and what they thought they were dealing with from a completely different perspective. And things become possible that weren't possible, not because they changed anything out here, but because they changed their understanding of the fact that it all came from here in the first place. And that, I feel like the last 10 years of watching that suspense thriller has gotten a little gluttonous and a little selfish. I'm like, okay, I can't be the only one seeing this. This is so interesting. Like, I feel very compelled to share this with the world, because I can see so clearly now that what helps an individual, what helps a family, what helps a company, that helps a culture, that helps the world, is a different understanding of the mind.